Hey everybody, it's Shamika. Please like, subscribe, and share my videos. I appreciate your support. You guys asked me to make the video on what I thought about Bank of America's new no money down mortgage program that they are having. And so this is what this video is about. If you do not know, Bank of America is now coming out with a program that is targeted towards Black and Hispanic individuals. Right now, they're only piloting this program in certain places. Let me tell you where they are. Charlotte, Dallas, Detroit, Los Angeles, and Miami. And these areas, I'm assuming, is heavily populated with Black and brown people. And if you do not know, banks have now started adding pressure on the government has now started adding pressure to banks, and they are trying to combat some of the things that they have done in the past, which has kept Black and brown people from being able to purchase homes. And now they are trying to do the right thing, and they've created this program to assist you with purchasing a home with no money down, no credit check. And the only thing that they are going to check is how you pay your utility bills. And so you guys asked for my feedback, and here it is. Any program is great if you know how to use it. But this program, in my opinion, is going to target those who refuse to do the work to repair their credit the right way, so that they can purchase or go through the mortgage purchasing process the normal way. I am not against anyone taking shortcuts or using programs. My issue with this program is, guys, a lot of us pay our cell phone bills. A lot of us pay our water bills. A lot of us pay our electric bills. We need those things. So yeah, we may be on time with those all the time because you have small children at home and you don't mind paying your rent late, but you make sure you're going to pay that water bill and that electric bill. Does that really give the bank a real view of how you really handle your bills? Or are they trying to skew the view in order to help rush you into a home so that they can meet their quota? Okay, because there is absolutely a quota. And if there was no quota, then this program would not target Black and brown people. It would be for everyone, but it's not for everyone. That is the first catch. When I see a program that is specifically for a targeted group of people, well, the question I ask first is why? And I had to do the research, and I go, well, Bank of America isn't doing this because they're nice and they care about people. They have to do it. The government says you have to make a program like this to go back and get all of those individuals that we did a lot of things to that we shouldn't have, redlining, steering, I mean, you name it. It's been done to the people of color, and now they are trying to, excuse me, y'all, I'm cleaning out my car. Well, actually, there was an ant, and I'm trying to clean and get this ant out of here. So they're trying to make up for what they did wrong. And in my opinion, this is not a good way to make up by giving me less requirements than you would someone else. And if you're going to give me less requirements than the average normal person, then that also tells me that you believe that there's a high probability that I will not be able to maintain this mortgage. Okay, and that's the thing that scares me the most. You guys are going to jump on this program because there's no credit check. Great, but do you want there to be no credit check because your credit is bad? Or do you just want there to be no credit check because, hey, about time they did something for us? Okay, you got to answer that question for you. Are you A or are you B? If you are a person that does not want any credit check because your credit is bad, then you unfortunately are going to fall into, if I had to do this categorically, or if I had to do the math and break you down by percentages, individuals who choose not to have their credit looked at because their credit isn't good will, within 3 to 5 years, probably foreclose on this same home. Why? Because your credit isn't strong enough on its own to show that you have good payment history, or that you have a good character. Now, I'm not judging you and telling you you're a bad person, but that is what your credit actually shows. It shows your character, the type of person you are. Are you a person that pays your bills? Are you a person that pays your bills on time? Are you a person that pays your bills in full? Are you a person that goes and gets a lot of credit? Are you a person that changes a lot of jobs? Are you a person with tons of public records? Do you have a lot of collections? I can go on and on and on just based off of what I see in a credit report. And that will determine the type of person you are, which in turn is called your character. So if you don't want them to check your credit because your credit isn't good enough, then you should not do this program either, because it's a setup. Period. Okay? Now, if you say, I got a plan, hopefully you do. And hopefully that plan will extend beyond your 3 to 5 years, because that is where people are going to really find out that it hurts. Okay? Because the first year, you're probably not going to even be paying any property taxes or any of that. And then when that second year comes around and that payment goes up, if you are not prepared, guess what? You're going to be right back where you started from before you moved into this house. Okay? Now, let me read what else it says. So it says the goal is to bring Black and Hispanic borrowers closer to home ownership. Okay? It says people of all races can qualify for the Community Affordable Loan Solution. Now they say that all colors, but it's geared towards Black and brown. Still gives me pause, okay? Because when is the last time anybody gave a program for homes for Black and brown over everybody else? Okay, y'all seeing the red flag? Look, I got the red shirt on. Red flags. All right. It says the eligibility will be based on income and location of the property. Y'all paying attention to that? Income. We don't care if you don't pay your bills, as long as you make the amount of money to pay the note. And then we're gonna tell you where you can stay. Sound pretty funny to me. Doesn't sound as free as a lot of these other federal government programs. FHA, VA, Penny Mac, Freddie Mac. None of them have location requirements. Maybe Habitat Housing does, but not the others. Okay. It says it will also use credit guidelines based on factors such as timely rent, utility bill, phone and auto insurance payments to determine credit worthiness. Okay. Now, they're going to look at your car insurance, but not your car. How many of y'all know people that's riding around with no insurance? I know at least 5, okay? So if they're going to look at your car insurance over your car payment, that scares me. They are trying to find alternative qualifiers to help put you in a home. But these qualifiers aren't strong enough to stand on their own, because if they were, they would already be a part of our credit scoring now. Who cares if you pay your light and water bill on time? They allow you a grace period, a long ass grace period at that, and they don't report on credit. Now, if you guys did not know, you can check Inovis, INNOVIS. That is the 4th credit bureau that people do not know anything about. You can go and request your Inovis credit report. That is usually the credit report that your utilities report to, okay? Now, no, you ain't gonna go in there and see your monthly water bill and that one time you was late. No, you're not gonna see it. But they do have a section. I saw it on my own. Matter of fact, I was denied something, and it said that I was denied because I didn't pay my cable bill. I believe it was my cable bill. No, excuse me, my cell phone bill by the due date. And it told me I could get that information from my Inovis report. Now, I did not exactly see where it was late, but it does show if you have issues with your utilities or not. So, go and pull your Inovis report to see if it's there. Another place that you can go is to pull your LexisNexis report. Very important. Another place that you can look. That is probably where they're going to get the auto insurance payments from. Why? Because when your auto insurance lapses, lapses, if I said that right, or lapse, however you want to say it, it is on the LexisNexis report. It will show that you were without coverage from this time to this time, and now you got coverage this time. Now, all it takes is somebody that knows how to read these reports good enough to go, oh, well, you had coverage in April and May, but then you didn't get new coverage until July. 1 + 1 = 2. June, you did not have insurance, okay? So that is how they can tell. I don't know if I want my ability to pay my utilities to be able to determine if I can pay a mortgage. They're completely different. Some people will pay that mortgage and that rent, and will never be late. But that water bill and that cable bill, that electric bill, honey, it's going to have to wait. It happens. So I don't know if I would want that to be my qualifier. Now, if you A1 with all your utilities and bills, but your credit is trash, maybe you want to try this program. But I caution you to please do the work. Do not allow these people to tempt you with a home, because I know what happens. You're going to start looking for a home. Once you find that home, you're going to go in that home. You're going to start thinking about furniture, how you could decorate that home. And now you ain't thinking about if you can make the payment or not. How many of you guys have bought a home and you didn't make your first payment for 45 days? Them 45 days you were on cloud 9. You in a brand new house, you decorating and you doing everything to it. Not even thinking that, damn, I got that payment due. That payment is coming up in 45 days, okay? That 45 days is not a break. That is just processing time to get them time to get your thing in order, get your paperwork right so that you can start paying. So I'm telling you, if you are one of those people, you are good with your utilities, but you suck with your credit, do not let Bank of America trick you and you run out there and you go and you get this house and you're in a neighborhood you don't want to be in, but you had to because they said this is the only place you could buy. And then it's great that you're doing no down payment and no mortgage insurance and 0 closing costs. Well, is it good that you don't have mortgage insurance? I mean, it's good if you're a veteran. It's not required for you to have mortgage insurance. But people that do not have a backing from the government like veterans do on their VA loan, you might want the private mortgage insurance. So you have to ask yourself, why are they taking away something that they would normally put in everybody else's loans? Don't give me the scraps and expect me to be happy with this half of a mansion, okay? That's how I want y'all to look, okay? We can't just be rushing out there. Now, no down payment. Well, I hope that most of y'all are not going to pay any down payment anyway, all right? So they don't impress me with this. I'm either trying to do a seller's concession where I'm asking the seller to roll those closing costs into the loan so that I can pay them over 30 years. Yes, it may suck, but we don't know that we're going to be able to keep this house, okay? Seller's concession is a way. You also could get on one of the programs, okay? Your local government, your county, your city, they should have a home buying program where you can get at least 3.5%, 3% from them to put down as the down payment, as long as you will agree to live in their town. You already live there. Agree to live there for at least 3 to 5 years so that that money that they have is worth it. Because why? They don't want to give you money to move and go put your money in somebody else's county. They want those tax dollars. So a lot of times they will give you money down so that you don't have to put any money down. You can also go to the banks. Banks have programs for no money down. I'll get to that in just a second. And the same with the closing costs. Now, this is the thing that gets me. Most of you guys probably don't know the difference between the down payment and the closing costs, and a lot of times they are usually paid at the same time, which is why people get them confused. Okay, a down payment is just a down payment. Hey, I'm gonna put this much down. Usually that's an earnest deposit, a binder deposit, whatever you want to call it, but that money can come back to you if you choose. If not, you can put it down as a deposit, and then at closing you're never going to see it, but it will be counted against you or for you so that it goes to the individual that's selling the home. The closing costs are usually not usually, they are the costs that you get at the end. Again, seller's concession can handle a closing cost. A lot of people don't like it because it doesn't, to some people, make sense to finance your closing costs over the 30 years with the rest of your loan. Okay, I can understand that. I think that's something you need to work out either with a bank or your realtor so that you can find out which way works for you. I'd say you'd like to find a home that you pay no closing costs. And most of the time where you can find homes like that, if you are getting a home from a builder, something that's brand new, builders usually pay the closing costs for you. That is something that they do to reel you in. So you may be able to go and find a builder. This program doesn't say if it's going to allow that. We don't know. If you guys are in those states, if you guys are using this program, please let me know if you can get a brand new home from a builder by using this Bank of America affordable loan solution. Okay, so that's one way you can do it. And again, you can always ask the seller to pay the closing costs. Okay, and you could do that in a myriad of ways by offering them a little more than what they may want on the house. You may make it a little sweeter for them. The market's different now, guys. Okay, so these people don't have to sell. All right, it is not a buyer's market. Okay, it is a, am I saying that right? I want to make sure. It is right now, it is all about the sellers. Okay, the sellers basically are calling the shots. Interest rates are going up, so a lot of things are changing. So it's not necessarily where you can come in and think you just gonna run the gamut and they're gonna do whatever you want. It is the other way around right now. Okay, so you don't have to stick with this program just because they have no down payment and no closing costs. That's basically all I'm trying to say in this section of the video. Okay, do not be skewed by them. All right, so let me give y'all some other low down payment options that you could do in the event that you want to buy a house but you do not necessarily want to go through this program. Okay, now of course you can look at this program. You can look at the NACA program, NACA.org. NACA is another program. It's a neighborhood association, I don't know, Coalition of America, I don't know, I could be wrong, but basically they are they want to give individuals who live in their respective towns and cities the opportunity to have a home there too. Remember, we want tax dollars to stay where you live, so they are actually going to give you this money to move. Okay, and if your credit is good enough, you can go and move into a house within 90 days on the NACA program. Okay, again, you can use your first time home buyers program in your local town government. Just call your housing office. All right, everybody has a housing office. All right, you can also do Habitat. If you're an individual, you receive Social Security. I'm tired of people who are on Social Security that tell me I can't buy a house. Yes, you can. You're on a fixed income. Habitat House is where Habitat House is where I would tell you, the Habitat for Humanity, okay, is where I would tell you to go to see if you qualify on your fixed income. Now, some of the other ones, you can use the VA, all right? If you don't, the VA is a good way to go, okay, because you don't pay any private mortgage insurance. Plus, there's no down payment. So if you're a veteran, know a veteran, married to a veteran, make sure you use that. I find a lot of people that are veterans and they are letting banks and realtors talk them into using other loans, and it's like, why? Do the math. If the math ain't mathing, that's not where you want to go. All right. But Navy Federal actually has a down payment option if you guys want to use that. Okay. Let's see. So it says here are the pros. 0 down payment. Okay, it does let you do a refinancing. Some of y'all are not going to be worrying about that because you're just starting out. There is no private mortgage insurance required. It says it has a fast approval. The only downside is if you can't get into Navy Federal, you will not be able to use this. Okay, but now you can go to Chase. Chase has a very good first-time home buyers program. Okay, I talk about this one a lot. If you guys watch me on my lives on Monday when we talk about where to get money, I always mention Chase. Well, because all of these banks are really trying to help you get into a house. You just have to make sure that you're not moving into a house that you're not going to be able to afford once everything kicks in. Okay. Now, Chase Bank does they offer a down payment option as low as 3% if you apply for the Dream Maker home loan. So they have one too. Okay. It says this loan was designed for individuals who can only afford to make a small down payment. It says, but it comes with stricter requirements. The borrowers cannot have, it says the borrowers must not have an income that exceeds 80% of the median income. So that means that you need to make sure you have the income that qualifies so that you can only put down this 3%. You get this 3% for them so that you can get this home. All right. So guys, make sure you look at Chase. Remember, your income must not exceed 80% of the median income. All right. So all you got to do, you can go find that out online. You can just go right to Google and put in your city and state and put median income, and whatever that is, 80% of it, your income cannot go above that. All right. So if the median income in your area is 50,000, you take 50,000 times 0.8. That is 80%. Whatever that is the number that your income cannot exceed. They want you to be at an income cap in order to be eligible for this program. This is supposed to help the low income individuals. Again, make sure that whatever this program comes with, that you will still be able to afford that home in 3 to 5 years. They're cutting corners to get you in. What are they going to do? And what are you going to do once you're in and you can't, keep up? All right. So that is what we don't want. Let's see. PNC has a program. It says they have a couple options that you can look at. It says they do have a special loan that is geared towards medical professionals. Okay, so if you are a medical professional, PNC does have a program for you, but this must be your primary residence. This cannot be your second. It can't be your investment home. It has to be primary. And if you guys have bought a home before and it's been more than 3 years, if you buy a new home, that new home can now be your primary. All you will need to do is when you fill out this application, and this is for anybody, because a lot of y'all think, oh, I already got a home, I can't do a first-time home buyers. Yes, you can, because it's been more than 3 years. But what you're going to need to do is you need to make sure you specify that the home that you have now will now be the investment home, and the new home will be primary. And the way that you would do that is by switching your homestead. Okay, that's the way that you will let your city, the government knows that this is your primary, is which house has the homestead on it. The investment, it should not, because that's not where you live all the time. It should be your primary. So that is how they're going to be able to determine. Well, that's one way that they can be able to determine. So medical professionals, they do have this. Now, if you're a medical professional and you live in Florida, they also have, DeSantis has the $25,000 HEROES program that you can use the $25,000 to put towards down payment or closing costs. So if you're in Florida, you're also a medical professional, hey, link that up with this PNC and look at how you can get into your house much more easily. Okay. It also says with PNC that medical professionals can apply for as much as $1 million, and you won't have to pay private mortgage insurance, regardless of the down payment. See, a lot of places are trying to get away from private mortgage insurance. You just need to make sure that that's going to be good for you and the loan option that you choose. All right. Let me see who else I got here that gave another program. So that was PNC, and that was it. So there are more, okay, because y'all see that Bank of America has one. There are a lot of banks that have programs. Those tend to be the most popular ones that they have. All right. I stress strongly that before you go to a bank, check your local and county government first. See what programs they have first, okay? Because they are geared to help you. Sometimes the down payment, the amount that they will give you will be more than a bank would, because, well, a bank doesn't really have the vested interest in your local government like your government does. All right, so I would always try them first. Plus, there are tons of nonprofits that are giving money. That are giving money to help. That are giving money from the government to help you guys seek resources. So you will be able to use those as well. I always exhaust my local stuff first. Then from there, I go and see what my uncle has. My uncle, he's your uncle too, Uncle Sam. I will see what he has. And then I go to the banks, okay? Y'all know I always say banks are not your friend. They are not your friend. They are in the business of servicing things for you so that they can do it with a fee in order to get paid. So they are going to be my last resort. I'm going to have to go to a bank anyway because that's who's going to give me the mortgage. But I want to make sure that I exhaust all the other programs and I know exactly what I should and should not have, so that I don't have to use a bank program if I don't want to. I want to use the government programs before I use the bank programs. Okay, it's just better that way. You will find it's better because the bank is about the bank. The government is about the government, but the government is going to be about the people. The bank will never be. All right, they just do what they have to do because they got checks and balances. They got I's to dot and T's to cross. All right, so hopefully you will find you a mortgage program where you can go and find you a house that you want, that you can live in, and don't sublet that house. If you're going to use any program, do not sublet. Do not put someone in your house unless you've been in that house at least 3 years or 5 years, depending on the program. And the reason that I say that is because I've seen this happen to someone. They moved out before because they didn't think people were going to be paying attention, but they did. And there was an annual letter that was being sent to the house every year to make sure that person still lived there, and they did not respond. And since they did not respond by a certain amount of time, the government wanted all of that down payment money back because now they know that you don't live there. So if you're going to have somebody live there, make sure they check your mail and actually give it to you so that you don't get screwed like this other person. Or you could just do the right thing and just stay for 3 to 5 years, and then you leave and rent it out. Okay? So hope y'all learned something new. Please like, subscribe, share my videos. I appreciate your support. And please, down below, let me know if you're going to use any of these programs. Are you going to use them? Have you used them? How is it? If you already have a house, what program did you use? I used the VA. I would love to tell you guys about how that was for me. Okay? So if you use a program, make sure you let me know so we can tell other people the process. All right? Talk to you guys soon. Bye.